Happy spring to my ballistic blood brothers and sisters in arms. Spring, thank God. It doesn't look it where I live. As a matter of fact, the thermometer hasn't caught up with the calendar yet, but it shouldn't be long. So I needed to reach out to you as soon as possible because if you haven't heard yet, YouTube has some new policies and guidelines. And I've got 30 days to clean this channel up. Every content creator does, or I'm going to be found in violation of it. Unfortunately, about 80% of the videos that I've done, complying with their past community standards, have all been fine. I've never broken any community standard. But in 30 days, if I don't delete at least 3/4 of the videos on this channel, they're going to yank it. So if you want to follow the work that we're doing, please head over to full30.com. I'll have a link to Full30 in the description below this video. And join us over on Patreon if you can. They're really taking all the tools away that we have that allow us to put this information out. So anyway, enough talk. I want to share something with you that a lot of people have asked about over the last 4 or 5 years, and I should have done this a long time ago. I want to talk about trigger reset. Why do you hear a click sound between shots on the microphone on that tiny little camera when I'm out at the range? First, let's look at the primary parts of the fire control group that we're going to be discussing. We've got the hammer, we have the safety selector, we have the trigger, and we have the disconnector. And these parts all work in unison with one another. So typically the hammer and the trigger are what's influencing you firing the shot. There is a surface at the very front of the trigger and at the very bottom of the hammer that interface. And when you squeeze the trigger, it allows the hammer to fall. For purposes of this video, we're going to be discussing the relationship as well between the disconnector and the hammer. And knowing these parts, everything should make sense at this point. So why is there a noise? Well, what's happening is the disconnector is holding on to the hammer rather than the hammer resting against the surface of the trigger where it usually does. And what that allows me to do is only let off the trigger far enough so that I hear that disconnector let go and it connects back to the trigger. And then at that point, when I do squeeze the trigger again, I've got a minimal amount of travel. I've got the shortest amount of travel on that follow-up shot than possible. And anyone that shoots knows really, really quick that the less distance you have, the less movement you have, the more accuracy you're going to achieve. So that's what that sound is. I'll fire a round, I'll let off the trigger just before I fire my next one, and you'll hear a click. And I don't know if that's a good thing. I hear from people all over the place. That's a terrible way to shoot. That's a fantastic way to shoot. Well, it works for me. And it's allowed me to cut my group sizes way, way, way down. So when you're watching a video, if you're newer to the shooting sports or newer to that style of shooting or these guns, when you hear a click in between rounds, in my case, it's the hammer being released from the disconnector and caught back on the trigger again. So that's a short technical tip that I wanted to pass along. And I apologize for not doing it a long time ago, but I just got this new Tennessee Arms clear lower receiver in. I've tried to make one of these for a few years out of plexiglass and all kinds of different things, and it just hasn't worked out for me. I talked to the folks down at Tennessee Arms. I just purchased one, and I thought, what a great way to introduce that product to you by answering a question that I've gotten from so many people. So thank you for tuning in today. If you like this video, please click like, share us with your friends in your vast social media universe, subscribe to the channel if you don't already, and make sure that you click notify so you'll know when we upload something, if it's something we can upload to YouTube in the future, because a lot of things we're not going to have that option. If you want to follow all the work that we do, please head over to full30.com. The information will be in the description below the video. And if you can, visit us over on Patreon, and I'll have that information in the description below, as well as a direct link that you can click over here. So who knows what the future is going to bring. My eyes are right straight ahead, and I'm running full speed ahead, and there's really no other way to go. Don't know where we're going to be, but I hope you'll join me there. Till next time, have fun and be safe.